have the Pledge of Allegiance. Please turn your audio on and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all.
We will now have roll call taken by Staff Liaison Francine Sprague-El.
Please say here present when I call your name. Chair Guerra.
Here.
Vice Chair Belding.
Here.
Commissioner Burt. Okay. Commissioner Blewell.
Here.
Commissioner Janelle.
Here.
Commissioner Loans.
Present. Was having trouble with the mute button.
No problem. Commissioner, it's good practice. That's what we do roll call for. Commissioner Posta.
I'm here.
Commissioner Sylvester.
Here.
Commissioner Williams.
Present.
Thank you.
Item 4 on the agenda is public comments. This is the time in our meeting when we invite members of the public to state their concerns about senior-related issues in our city or present items for commission consideration. Speakers have 3 minutes. State your name and the city in which you reside. I believe we have one speaker. I believe it's Wade Twitchell. Am I pronouncing your name right?
Yes, yes.
Go ahead. You have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Sure. My name is Wade Twitchell, and I'm the Director of Sales for Clearwater River Park. We are a senior independent living community here, independent living, 55 plus with the average age of 55. I'm here today to let you know that we have an engaging, incredible community. Here's a little, I know it's hard to see, but there's just a little taste of what Clearwater looks like. Also, what makes us special is what we call empowered living in the 6 dimensions of wellness. So we focus on mind, body, spirit, social, mental, physical, environmental. We are a little tidbit of our pictures. You can see a little bit of what we look like. It's truly resort style living. It's for seniors that want an independent lifestyle, want connectivity, socialization, independence, convenience, like I said, and really have everything catered to them. Everything's all inclusive. So everything from all your utilities to concierge service, shuttle service, all the events that we do that cater towards everything from going to the casino to theater events, dance events, all different types of things. Just a really beautiful place for people to be happy. We also have connected healthcare. We work with home and health care, nurses, assisted care if needed. But most people here are downsizing for their homes. They are, maybe widowed, and again, just looking for something to make a life a little bit easier for them and have everything at their fingertips. We have people that come from all over, a lot of people from Thousand Oaks, Calabasas, Westlake, all across the west side, as well as relocation. And of course, Ventura, Santa Barbara area as well. So it's very, I'm very passionate about what I do because we help other people and make a difference. And I'm really here to network within the community and just connect people, anything we can do to refer each other business in a positive way. We all work together for the same common goal to hopefully inspire, make people happy and make a difference. And, just really proud to be here, and I appreciate you having me.
Thank you so much.
And also, I do want to make one other note quick, sorry. We're having a tailgate happy hour social distancing event on 11/11. It's for business networking, and we'll have some great food, great entertainment. Businesses can really connect and share, have some great food. and just meet like-minded people. Hopefully you'll get my information after, but again, it's clearwaterliving.com is our website. And my phone number is 805-366-3446, 805-366-3446. Wade.twitchell@clearwaterliving.com. Again, hopefully that will be shared afterwards, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Wade.
Thank you, guys.
Item number 5 on the agenda is Jennifer Bowie. She's from the Ventura County Sheriff's Department, and she's going to talk to us on scams and safety. Commissioner Bluell, would you please introduce the guest speaker for today?
You did a terrific job, as a matter of fact, Rosanna.
There's not much more to it.
I mean, I have a very, very long intro that you just used the whole thing. Because my intro was, and this is our senior deputy from the Ventura County Sheriff's Office, and she's been there for 20 years, and she started when she was 7 years old.
Don't I wish?
So she's going to talk to us about the whole idea of fraud and forgery that can be prevalent at this time of year when we are all changing our attitudes to be giving, and so unfortunately a lot of people find ways to have us give and get nothing back. So Jennifer's going to give us the inside track, and so we will all become much more aware of this. And hopefully when people watch this on TV, they'll take some notes, because this is good stuff.
Do I only have 3 minutes to speak? Because
You
I can do
have,
it in 3 minutes.
well, I'm only 1/3 of the way through, but I'm going to stop now. Go ahead, Jennifer.
I know you said everyone only had 3 minutes to speak. I can do it in 3 minutes, but
Don't do it.
okay. So here, let me. Oops.
No, Jennifer, you have longer than that.
Okay, good deal. All right, just checking.
Yeah, only
Um,
public comments are 3 minutes.
Okay.
This is not public.
All right. Okay. Get going here. So again, my name is Detective Jennifer Bowie. I'm with the Ventura County Sheriff's Office. Like you said, I've been there for 20 years. I'm currently assigned as a fraud forgery detective in the city of Thousand Oaks. So I'm here today to talk about scams, schemes, fakes, and frauds. So basically, a scam is a trick used to defraud a person by gaining their trust and convincing them to give up their personal information and or money. So just by looking at someone or listening to them on the phone, you can't necessarily tell who the scammer is. Either one of these guys could be trying to take your money. So you have to really, really be careful. If you answer yes to any of the following questions, you may be getting scammed. Have you been contacted by telephone, email, or text message by someone you do not know? Have you been told you owe an overdue IRS payment, won a sweepstakes, have an unpaid debtor bill? Are you buying an item for sale online with a too good to be true price, or selling an item that is paid for with a check written for more than the asking price? Have you been hired to work at home or other job without a face-to-face interview with the person hiring you? Are you being asked to wire money with a check you received? Or are you being asked to purchase prepaid credit cards such as iTunes, Vanilla, Green Dot cards, or something similar? So some basic safety precautions to take. Just don't answer any phone calls from unknown phone numbers. If you don't know who's calling you, let it go to voicemail. You can always return the call later. Do not provide personal identifying information when requested to callers when the phone call was not initiated by you. If you call a bank or whatever, yes, they're going to want to verify you are, who you say you are. So they're going to ask for some information. If they're calling you, they already know who you are. They don't need to verify you. Do not return phone calls with phone numbers left on a voicemail or in an email or a text without verifying the number first. Go to Google, research the phone number, make sure it actually belongs to the company that they say it's coming from. Do not provide personal information through text message or email without verifying the text or email came from the company, and I'll discuss some ways to do that later. Research and verify everything before you start sending money or providing personal information. Unfortunately, with the way things are going right now, there's so many scammers out there. You just, pretty much anyone you talk to, you need to be cautious. These are some examples of some of the gift cards that they're going to ask you to buy. Pretty much if anyone is asking you to pay for something with gift cards, it's a scam. Gift cards cannot be used for anything other than buying merchandise at a store or online. They can't be used to pay bail. They can't be used to pay your debts or warrants or anything like that. So as soon as someone asks you to pay with gift cards, it's a scam. And the scam stops with you basically, educate yourself, because as long as the scammers are making money, we arrest a few of them. We do catch them every once in a while, but it's few and far between, unfortunately. So the best way we found to stop these scammers is to take away their money. And by doing that, we educate people so they don't fall for this. So with that in mind, I'm going to talk to you about some of the most common scams we see. This is one I'm sure you've all gotten the phone call saying you haven't paid your taxes and you're going to be arrested by the IRS. The incoming phone number may actually show that it's coming from a local police department. It's really, really easy for these people to do what they call spoofing a phone number. They can make any phone number they want show up on your caller ID. The individual claims to be an IRS agent. They say they're going to arrest you. They give you instructions to either wire the funds, a MoneyGram, prepaid gift cards, or something like that to pay for your balance. Just know the IRS does not make phone calls. They only correspond by mail. And if you are concerned, you can always contact the IRS at the phone number listed there, 800-829-1040. This is an example of one of the IRS scammers that was arrested a while back. He was 24 at the time of his arrest, and he was accused of being the mastermind behind those IRS phone scams. The Indian police claim he managed a scam in which callers posing as IRS agents tricked taxpayers into paying out millions. A total of 90 people were arrested, 20 of them in the United States. So a lot of these scams are originating outside of the country, which again is why it makes it really, really hard for us to do any sort of prosecution. The kidnap ransom scam. You get a phone call saying that someone usually a child or grandchild, has been kidnapped and they demand a ransom be paid. The calls can, again, the phone number that's showing up on your caller ID is usually pretty useless. It's meaningless. But they'll threaten to kill or harm a family member. You may hear screaming in the background. They may even put someone on the phone to talk to you who sounds like, you'll swear sounds like your loved one. We found that usually people who are stressed and scared, they hear what they want to hear. So they're going to think pretty much anyone on the other end of that phone is their loved one. The callers will go to great lengths to keep you on the phone so that you can't verify that the person has actually been kidnapped. They'll have you go to a bank, withdraw money, go wire money, go buy the prepaid gift cards, all while keeping you on the phone. Just remember, everyone has smartphones nowadays. With that, you can put the call on speakerphone, close your phone application, and still send text messages. So if you're scared and you don't want to get off the phone with the person because you're worried that it might be real, just start sending text messages to the person they said they have kidnapped or other family members, so you can ease your mind that they're actually really safe. Jury duty scam. Again, you didn't go to jury duty. Now you're going to get arrested and you have to pay with a prepaid gift card or wire money or whatever. They may even use a local officer's real name. It's real easy to find on the internet. If you're worried, you can always call the courthouse to verify whether or not you have a warrant, but we don't arrest people for not showing up to jury duty, so it's not real. Don't send money. The grandparent or person in need scam, these are all kind of along the same lines. They're gonna either be a phone call from someone you swear is your grandchild. They'll someone who says they know your grandchild, an attorney, a doctor, someone, and the person has been arrested or has been in an accident and is in the hospital and needs money. Again, your information is really easy to find on social media if you don't have your privacy settings set, if your account's not private. It's easy to go online and find, the names of your grandchildren, special names that they call you. That'll all be public. So be really careful about that. Again, if you're concerned, stay on the phone and text message the person to see if they're okay. That way you can calm your nerves and you don't need to worry about it. But again, they play on your fear, and you're obviously, you want to help your grandchild or your family member. So you're going to send money. Just verify before you do. Classified site scams, these are real big. I even had someone, I was selling a boat. They tried to do this to me. You're selling your item on Craigslist or even eBay or other legitimate sites. And they send you a check that's for more money than what you're asking and saying, oh, it's either for the shippers or it's for, they have the check made up for something else and they just send it to you and they need you to wire back the difference. Basically, it might be a check from a legitimate company. It's easy to get major companies' account numbers. And unfortunately, it's really hard for them to change their account numbers even once they know that there's fraud going on the account. But what happens is a couple days after the check clears, it comes back as a fraudulent check, and then the bank, takes that money out of your account. Well, you've already wired half of it somewhere else, so now you're out that money. So basically, if anyone ever sends you a check for more than what you're asking, it's a fraud. Especially if you've been talking to Joe Smith about purchasing this item, and all of a sudden you get a check from, the Hershey company or something like that. Just be, pay attention. If the check's not coming from the person you've been talking to, the same name, that's a clue. Online dating scam. This is really, really bad. This is a huge issue right now, pretty much everywhere. And this is, you meet someone on Facebook, on social media sites, on legitimate dating sites, and they seem to be the most perfect person in the world. I've had victims who are in 2-year relationships with someone and never ever met the person in face-to-face, never spoke to them on the phone. All communication was through text message and email. Never did FaceTime, nothing. And they sent, for one reason or another, sent, over $100,000 to this person over 2 years. So the person will usually be from out of the country. They have some job where they, and they want to come visit you, but there's some sort of problem going on and they need you to send them money, and they'll repay you as soon as they can, because they've always got some sort of inheritance coming to them. As long as you help them, they're going to come into a ton of money, which they of course will share with their, with you, because they love you so much. So if someone like this is approaching you online, just remember that that's who's actually sitting behind the screen on the other end of the computer. And just remember, when they start sending you pictures, you can put those pictures into Google Images online, and it will search the website or the internet for other places that picture has shown up. So what they'll do is they will steal pictures from legitimate people off, social media sites and use them. So they'll have pictures of the same person in many different areas because people make their sites public, and you can just save those pictures all you want. So you can, put it into Google Images, and it'll show you if, one picture comes up when social media sites under 5 different names, it's probably a clue. You'll also notice that when they're just talking with you, there'll be certain spelling and grammar mistakes that might indicate that English isn't their first language. But if they're telling you they were born in Iowa, but their syntax is off, maybe more like someone who originally had Spanish is their first language, or something else, that's a clue. And always remember, make sure you're always speaking to them on the phone or FaceTime or something, so you're seeing a real person and not just via email or text. Because again, they tell you they're born in Iowa, but they speak with a deep Indian accent. That might be a clue. Work from home scams, same thing. These are usually like secret shopper scams, or the repackaging scams. So you get a job where you're offered a job online, and a lot of these are through legitimate job websites such as Monster, Indeed, Craigslist sites, things like that. And it's going to, again, all your conversations are usually done through text or email. You never talk to anyone on phone. They don't give you a specific location for the job, and they list a salary or hourly wage that just seems too good to be true. And usually they'll send you a check asking you to return some of the money or to make a purchase with that money, or you're going to have a job where you receive packages. You then need to open the package, check the item, then repackage it and send it on elsewhere. And usually what they're doing with that is they're using these people as money mules. So people who have been victims of one scam are sending their money or items that are fraudulently purchased, send them to this person. It's a way for the scammers to hide who they are. So they're basically laundering the money, and so making it a step for us makes it harder for us to find the actual perpetrator. And again, you'll notice when talking with these people, they'll have that strange sentence structure or misspellings in their communications. Again, Microsoft scam, Apple scam, same thing. You get a phone call saying that they've noticed a problem with your computer and they can fix it. I can tell you right now, no one at Microsoft or Apple are sitting there monitoring all the millions and millions of computers and saying, oh, I see, there seems to be a problem with this one. We've also seen scams where you think you're calling Apple support, and just make sure when you're, if you Google a phone number, don't always just take the first one that comes up, because websites can pay to be the first response in a Google search. So, if a scammer sets up a fake website, they can pay so that they are, you search Apple support, their fake website comes up as the first return on that. You call that phone number, and now you think you're talking to Apple support, and you're actually talking to a scammer, and they're taking your money. Over the last couple of years, Microsoft estimated 3.3 million people in the U.S. paid more than $1.5 billion to scammers falling for this kind of stuff. Never ever give control of your computer to someone who just calls you out of the blue. So a lot of times what they'll do is they'll ask you to download an application to your phone or to your computer that gives them remote access. They'll then have you sign into your bank account. Now they have your username and password to your bank account. So they may not even necessarily ask you for money right away. They will just get that remote access. They'll then log into your bank account and start transferring money. So, and again, never provide social security numbers, banking information, or credit card information to anyone who calls you. Make sure you know who you're talking to. Fake computer virus, again, something will pop up, say, hey, you have a computer virus, call this number, and we'll fix it. And yeah, that doesn't happen. That's all fake. Rental scams, they'll steal photos from real rental sites and they'll post it on another website for a cheaper price. And basically they'll have you send the money, and you never meet them in person. Again, they always converse with email or text. and they want you to wire the funds or get prepaid gift cards. You know, for some reason they're out of the country, but they can mail you the keys. Yeah, if you can't meet the person at the house and go through it with them and know that they actually have control of the house, just be careful. And again, just things to look for when you're talking with the person. You know, they use odd language. You know, we don't smoke, and of course don't have pet. We're, you know, I'm in Russia for our company's project. You know, they're out of the country. Just odd capitalization. I don't have access to a bank transfer nor have a PayPal account. I mean, who nowadays doesn't have access to that? And then, you know, hope to read from you soon, just kind of an odd terminology you don't normally see around here. So lottery scams, you get, you know, just remember you don't have to pay a fee to get your prize. Do not give out your checking account number or credit card number. You may be told to wire money to ensure delivery of the prize. That's not required. Wiring money is like sending cash. Once it's gone, it's gone. So we can't get it back for you. Do not deposit any checks they send or wire a portion of the money back. It'll, you know, same like the other scams, the check will turn out to be fake or stolen. You never have to send money to get money. Also, foreign lotteries, the letters offer you a chance to enter a foreign lottery or that you have won a foreign lottery. Again, the letters will include a check, which is usually stolen or fake. Remember, you can't win a lottery that you haven't entered, and also it's illegal to play a foreign lottery. So the in-person lottery scam usually typically targets the elderly or Spanish-speaking community. They'll approach you in a public place. They say they have a winning lottery ticket, but are unable to cash the ticket because they're not a U.S. citizen. They need some sort of collateral. So they're going to give you the lottery ticket to cash, but to make sure that they, you know, you come back with their money, they're going to want you to give them collateral, either money or jewelry or something like that. The victim gives this collateral to the suspect. The suspect takes off, and now the victim's left with a worthless lottery card. And you do not have to be a U.S. citizen to claim a lottery prize, so there's no reason that a winner couldn't go get their prize with a ticket. And the California lottery never requires collateral or money in order for a prize to be claimed. We've all heard of the Nigerian prince scam. That, you know, when you think of the Nigerian prince, that's who you think of. That was the real Nigerian prince. He was arrested. He was an email scammer. He was arrested in Louisiana. Michael knew. He was 67 when he was arrested. He was suspected of being the middleman behind the scam to con money from victims across the U.S. Prize offers. Again, you get a text message saying that you've won a gift card or other free prize. You go to the website and enter your personal information, or you'll be asked to sign up for a trial offer. Those offers may leave you with recurring monthly charges. You know, I've had victims like this, you know, all of a sudden they're getting charged $90 a month and they can't figure out why. Also, the scammer can sell your information to other identity thieves. Just be careful. Don't reply or click on any links that might take you to a spoof site. They look real, but are actually fake. The charity scam, this always pops up around some sort of natural disaster. They create a fraudulent charitable organization. They call, send out letters or emails requesting money. And of course, everyone wants to be helpful, especially people in Thousand Oaks are very, very nice. And they want to, you know, help wherever they can. But your money does not end up going towards the cause you think it is. It goes right in their pockets. If you get a call from a charity organization, you can always verify them through the Better Business Bureau, or go to give.org, or go to specific charity sites. Just if you want to donate money, always make sure you're doing it through a legitimate charity. The Edison scam, you haven't paid your electric bill, go buy a gift card. Again, Edison doesn't call you, they just come and leave a little note on your door, then they turn it off. They're not going to ask you to wire them money or buy gift cards if you haven't paid your bill. Car repair scam again usually targets the elderly. The scammer approaches you or attempts to get you to pull over. You know, they're a mechanic and they noticed a problem with your car and they can fix it for you. Of course, for a small fee, you know, for their trouble. Again, if you don't know anything about cars, you might be, you know, tempted to believe them, but this is usually, you know, they're just making it up. If you're worried there might be something wrong with your car, just take it to a trusted mechanic. Don't just believe someone on the side of the road. Same thing with fake contractors, false work. They'll come to your house. They'll, oh, I noticed, you know, you have a problem with your roof. It needs to be repaired. I'll do it for, you know, $5,000. And of course, you know, they may end up causing more damage than what was, or if there even was any to your, on your roof. Travel scams, again, offers that just seem too good to be true. That's because they are. You know, 6 days, 5 nights, all inclusive for $299 per person. That's never going to happen. Email compromise. This is a huge one nowadays. $1.2 billion lost email scams. Money's usually going to the foreign countries. They target the company's domain name. So for example, you have example.com. So if I have a company like Chase Bank, their domain name is going to be usually, you know, chase.com or jpmorganchase.com or something like that. So the thieves might register example.com. So they substitute the number 1 for the letter L. So if you look quickly at it, it may seem like it's coming from the right email. But always, if you're getting an email from a company, always verify the domain name. So for example, on this, it says it's from Chase Morgan 14 at outlook.com. Anything that's coming from a bank should have the domain name, or whatever comes after the @ should be that company's name. They pay for that domain name. So again, Chase Bank is jpmorganchase.com. So if it's supposedly coming from a business, but the domain name is not some version of that business, it's not legitimate. Or like this. So this email says it's coming from American Express, but when you look at the actual email address, it's coming from you@yugo.com. Anything from American Express is going to be @ae.com. And this little website, this email address may not pop up when you first open the email, but if you take your mouse and just scroll over where it says an American Express, that email address will pop up. So I can set up an email address and name myself American Express, but it's at, you know, jb@mail.com. When I send out my emails, it's going to show up that it's American Express, but it's my personal email address. And then they will steal things from American Express's actual websites and things like that to make their emails look legitimate. Excuse me. Again, same thing. This says it's coming from FedEx, but if you look at where the email it's coming from is comcast.com. If it's coming from FedEx, it should be at fedex.com or some version of that. Same thing. This is just more examples of kind of stuff. So false emails are called phishing. Now we've gotten into where they do false text messages, which is smishing. Where they come up with these names, I have no idea. So Bank of America, you get an alert, you know, saying that you need to, or there's, you know, Wells Fargo, import NAT notice regarding your account. And then it has a link. Never follow a link from a text message or email. Go to the website yourself. Search for it online. Because this link may take you to a site that looks exactly like the Wells Fargo site, but it's a false site, and now you enter your information. And I actually got one of these on my personal phone, and it asked, said there was a problem with my Wells Fargo account, which I've never had a Wells Fargo account in my life. So just out of curiosity, I followed the link, and it took me to a website where I was supposed to sign into my Wells Fargo account. I made up a username and password, and lo and behold, it worked and got me into my account, supposedly, where I was supposed to enter my account number and things like that. So it was just, trying to get information from me. And again, these are just more examples of things that you're going to see, different emails or text messages. Again, if you think there's a problem, just go to the actual site. A lot of times you'll get things, asking if there was a purchase on your Amazon account or a purchase through your Apple account, and they want to verify if it's you, and they take you to a site and you're supposed to log in through that site, through that link, through that email or text message. Well, now they've got your Amazon or your Apple password and your login and password. So again, if you get, just go to your regular, everyone's got an Amazon app or your Apple app, or just go to the site yourself and look at your account. And if you don't have any fraudulent purchases on your account, because it'll be there in your account history, then they're just fishing for information. Okay. Title company scam. This has become another big one. People who are buying and selling houses, they will compromise a title company's email when they see that someone's getting ready to make the purchase. They send an email saying that the wiring instructions have changed, and they have you, instead of wiring the money to the title company, that you wire it to the scammer's account. So if you get an email asking you, telling you about a change in wire transfer instructions, make a phone call. Don't just believe you'll have someone you're working with. Always confirm. And again, do your research on stuff like this. You can Google a phone number. If the phone number has been used in a scam before, there's probably going to be some sort of information on the internet that, hey, if you get a phone call from this number, it's a scam. The problem is it's so easy for the scammers to change their phone number every day if they want to now. A lot of those phone numbers aren't getting recorded because they just get a new number every day. But you can go to, caller center, look at the phone numbers. Who Calls Me is another website that'll have a record about scams at different phone numbers. The new Medicare card scam. Again, Medicare will never call you uninvited and ask for your personal information. There are no fees associated with the new card. Medicare does all communications by mail unless you initiate the phone call. Again, just don't provide your social security number to a random caller claiming to be representative of Medicare. Use your answering machine or caller ID to screen calls. Excuse me. And remember, if someone asks you for your information for money or threatens to cancel your health benefits, if you don't share your personal information, just hang up and call Medicare yourself at 1-800-MEDICARE. Don't give out your information. You can also, any type of scam, if you've been a victim, you can file a complaint at the FBI's website, which is ic3.gov. The letter I, the letter C, the number 3.gov. And they track these things. They look for similar types of trends and scams. And, they put together, when they have like maybe 200 or 300 victims, maybe in one case, you don't really have enough information to find the suspect, but you put 200 or 300 cases together and there'll be enough little breadcrumbs in each one to lead to a suspect. So the FBI has become much more involved in this type of crime. And this is the website to file any information that you have on the scammer, such as a phone number, a name, the type of scam that it was, any email addresses or phone numbers used, and the FBI can follow up. And remember, again, the scam stops with you. Ask, call, verify. Ask a friend or law enforcement before acting. Call, look up the company. Do not call back the number they provide. Type the company name or phone number into a search engine to see if it's been reported as a scam. Verify, do your research. Check with the Federal Trade Commission, the Better Business Bureau. Don't be quick to send money to anyone or provide personal information. Do not purchase reloadable cards at someone's request or provide the numbers on the cards to them via phone or text message. Document and report it. Either report it to law enforcement or ic3.gov. There are also websites such as scamawareness.org, the ftc.gov. They have information on a lot of these scams. Also, if you go to like a lot of the companies that have been used to scam people, such as Apple, things like that, they will have information on their websites about the scams that are being done using their name. So you can go to those websites too and look for that. And again, just think before you send money. And how many times do you need to be reminded? If it sounds too good to be true, then it probably is. That is our fraud hotline. If you want to, maybe if you got a phone call, you didn't fall victim to a scam, but you want to let us know that, hey, we've got this one sounds kind of new, you might want to know about it. You can leave us information on that hotline. That is my name, my email address, and my phone number. Always here to help answer questions. If you want to call and check with me, I would glad to answer a phone call rather than have to take a crime report. And that's all I got.
Thank you so much. That
Thank
was
you.
so informative. I'm going to open it up for any questions from any of our commissioners, if they would like to ask any questions about the presentation. Anyone? Yes. Commissioner Sylvester.
Just a quick question. That was really, really helpful. Is that information online somewhere, your presentation, or available?
Sorry. I know a lot of the information is on the scamawareness.org, things like that, ftc.gov. As far as I know we've put out some information on apps like Nextdoor. We try to, on our Nixle and Twitter and things like that, put out information. As far as this information specifically, we actually get a lot of this information from other sources and regurgitate it as ours. But we do, actually a lot of the stuff that we get is from the FTC. They provide a lot of free information that we can distribute to help make people aware. Because like I said, the best way to combat these is with education. So that as long as people aren't giving them money, then maybe they'll stop.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, Commissioner Janelle.
Not so much a question, just a comment on two of the scams you talked about. The grandparent one, when my younger son was still at home at 16, my in-laws got a call that he was in New York and in trouble, and they called my sister-in-law who happened to be back there, and then they called my husband and said, oh, I just talked to Adam in New York, and my husband said, no, you didn't, and he's upstairs. And,
Yeah.
and my in-laws, especially my father-in-law, thought that they were beyond this kind of thing. And I think that that's what some people don't realize. It's not people who are stupid or
No.
who
Oh,
don't
no.
understand because it sounds real when they're there. And then another one on your apartment or your housing thing. When my older son was looking for apartments his junior year in college, one of his roommates was looking for things and he found something on the internet and they were going to go look at it, blah, blah. And they needed a deposit to go look at it.
Yeah.
And so my son's friend went, wait a minute. And he called his father and they investigated it and turned out that the renter, instead of being in San Luis Obispo, was in New York and just posted a picture
Yep.
of an apartment. And so you know, I think they probably cater to some of the college kids because they're looking in whatever, but thankfully my son's friend sent a deposit to go look at it, really? And then, you know, but they did see that it was clearly, you know, a picture
Yeah.
of somebody else's apartment.
I've had, you know, PhDs, people with PhDs, I mean, literal rocket scientists fall for this stuff because this is what these people do for a living. They're very good at sounding convincing. And they're very good at pressuring you and not giving you the time to think. And that's where they get you because they don't allow you, you know, you have to do it now or you're in trouble. You have to do it now or your loved one is going to suffer, whatever. And because they know as soon as you stop to think about it, you're going to be like, wait a second, this doesn't seem real. So they're very, very good at keeping that pressure on so that you don't have a chance to think.
Yes, Commissioner Posta?
Yes, something related. It wasn't a scam, but it actually, our Bank of America account was compromised, but I reported it to the police, to the department, and they did find who the individual was. It was somebody out of another branch, and they actually brought charges and filed charges, but they also brought charges for elder abuse. They include that count. And so if you tell anybody about scams, tell them that you're an elder also, and we'll get them for another account.
Yeah, that's in order to file that charge, we have to be able to prove that the person knew their victim's age, which can be challenging. But yeah, it is also something, you know, if we have something that if at any point during their conversation, the victim gave their age to the scammer, that is definitely something that we will go after.
Well, you could scare them anyway, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I saw Commissioner Belding's hand up.
Oh, yes. I just want to say, like probably everybody on the panel, I have had, of course, problems with this as well. But I wanted to say that I've had a number of them dealing with credit cards and banking. And one of the things that I found really helpful, instead of looking up a bunch of numbers somewhere, even online, was to go to my statements from my bank or statements from my credit cards and call them directly. And
Exactly.
then they gave me a good way to send back these text messages to them so that they could follow up before you had to get involved maybe. So maybe that would help.
Yeah, I know I've gotten several of the phishing emails from, you know, supposedly from Amazon. I know a lot of companies now have their own fraud investigators. And if, you know, they'll have you send them the emails or the text messages or whatever to their fraud investigators and they'll follow up on it. And some of their fraud investigators are very helpful and help us. Some are not so much, but we're working on it.
So I believe I saw Commissioner Lone's hand up.
Yes, you did. Thank you. One of the things that I thought about as we were viewing through the various slides, I know many of us we've talked about having younger kids, you know, even teenagers or in college. And then I would also suspect, and includes myself, although not now, where we had our elderly parents living with us. And so when you're gone during the day, they are, right, prime targets for this type of behavior. And one of the things that I think we can do about and be proactive is keep in touch, like make sure you're keeping in touch with your kids or your elderly parent, because they could be giving away this money and you would never know, right? And then all of a sudden it comes to your attention that they don't have money for their medications or what have you. The other thing you definitely want to think about is, how can I prevent this from even happening, right? So again, conversations with your kids or your adult parents, like, please don't do this. If you get a phone call like that, if you're uncomfortable calling the police department or someone else, talk to me about it, right? Because you don't want it to get to a point where unfortunately your parent or your son or daughter has been bilked out of their savings. So I think as a word of caution to everyone is keep in contact and where it's appropriate to have an accounting for your relatives' finances where you can. And I think that's where you can sort of stop that in its track as well.
I think I saw Commissioner Burt's hand up. Commissioner Burt, if you could unmute.
Hi, Detective Bowie. 2 years ago, I was the Commissioner for Scams and Frauds on this Council on Aging, and I thought I was reasonably sophisticated about this kind of thing. And I received a call from a sergeant with the Lost Hills Sheriff's Department, LA Sheriff, saying that there was a warrant out for my arrest for not showing up for jury duty. And so I kind of played along with it because I was obviously tipped off, and I wanted to find out a little bit more so I could report back to the community in terms of this kind of scam. And what it turned out to be is that he was this potential sergeant that Lost Hills Sheriff was going to put me in touch with an attorney who could get me out of this warrant because they were about to send a car to my house to pick me up. And,
So nice of him.
I mean, it was so convincing, even though I never believed it. I understood how convincing it actually really is, even to the most sophisticated. And I was in charge of frauds and scams, and obviously I didn't bite on it.
Yeah.
However, the level of insistence and the level of authenticity was pretty high. It was very sophisticated. So it was kind of interesting. I know, being a sheriff, this was a Lost Hills Sheriff. It wasn't Ventura County Sheriff, of course. It was
Yeah,
Lost Hills.
you know, I've had some victims where they said, "Oh, I'm calling from the 27th precinct in LA." Well, in the West Coast, we don't have precincts. That's an East Coast thing. But you know, most people get their law enforcement knowledge from watching Law and Order, where they're always talking about precincts. So
Yeah,
yeah, if you know.
I think I saw Commissioner Janelle's hand up.
Yep.
If you can unmute. Thank you. 21st century problems.
I know. Something that you mentioned, a lot of the banks and a lot of companies, if you forward an email to abuse at, and I've done that a few times, they do look, research them. I mean, and they, you know, like, I got an email, this doesn't look like it's from Chase Bank or whatever, abuse at Chase Bank or whatever, and they will look back, and sometimes they even get back to you and comment, yeah, this was, you know, this was something that you shouldn't be paying attention to. Thank you for letting us know. Because if they know, they can report it and try to stop it, even though, as you say, they're going to change their phone number, they're going to change their email, they're going to do whatever, but at least it stops them at some point.
Exactly. It slows them down for about 30 seconds.
Well, I think one thing that I'm sorry, Commissioner Bluell.
Hi, Jennifer, I have a question for you. That was such a terrific presentation of all those slides. Is that all in PowerPoint?
It is, yes.
What is that? Do you have a any kind of a copyright or anything out like that you own it and nobody else can have it?
It's actually my former partner Tim Lohman was the one who actually put it together, so it would be his copyright.
Well, I was wondering if we could get it as for the council, and so we could maybe even put it on our website.
I will. I'll talk to. I don't think it should be an issue, but I can get back and I know I have Francine's email address. I could communicate with her about that.
Yes, Francine, I see your hand up.
I can
That
help
would be
you.
terrific. I mean, you did a lot of somebody did a lot of work to put that together, and it's so comprehensive that there's no way there was so much there. There's no way I could keep all that in my head.
Yeah.
So, but if I had access to it and I could kind of flip through the outline, I think it'd
Well,
be terrific.
Back in the day when we could do these in person, I had handouts from the FTC from other locations that had a lot of that information on it. and we would give those to everyone in attendance. The new way of doing things via Zoom has made this a little more challenging, but I'm sure we could find some sort of compromise.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it would add a lot of value to our council.
Mhm.
That as a part of the city of Thousand Oaks, that if you go to the Council on the Aging, we have a terrific website that if you go to that, you can see all the a huge presentation, all the different kinds of frauds there are out there. And I think it would just that way it would be accessible to anybody that had any kind of a computer system. They could go in and just scan this thing. It would be terrific. So if you could check on that, that would be terrific.
I will definitely look into that, and I will keep in touch about it.
And then Francine will yell at me because I'm not supposed to do this, but she's nice though. She'll yell at me nicely. I'll just feel stupid.
Francine, I see that you have your hand up.
Yes, Bill, I would never yell at you. This is recorded. There will be a link. This presentation is recorded. There will be a link on the Council on Aging page and the TOTV page. So anybody can go back in and watch the presentation anytime they want. And obviously all the slides were part of the presentation, so it would be on there.
There you go.
So one final thing that I wanted to mention, because I've been a victim of a scam twice, is how embarrassing it feels. And I can see how people would be reluctant to come forward because you feel so stupid and so humiliated. But the two that I can recall right now is one was a website that popped up on my Instagram feed, and it was for this website with beautiful clothing. I mean, it was so nice. I don't know if I was more upset that I wasn't going to get the clothing or the fact that I spent so much money and was never going to get it.
Yeah.
But how I came to find out that my money is somewhere out of the country is that it was taking longer than I had anticipated. And so I ended up looking up the website I Googled the website under complaints, and there was a litany of complaints about this phony website. Don't buy anything. Well, of course I did it after the fact, it didn't help me, but I can imagine, it seemed authentic because it was coming up on my Instagram feed or on my Facebook feed. And then once you hit on it, it's going to continue to come up on your Instagram feed. Mm-hmm. So what I did was on my Instagram feed is I did go and report that that website that was coming up as phony on my feed. Yeah. But one other thing, I did get scammed when I was traveling, so I don't know if that comes up a lot too, travel scams. So the other thing that I had heard, and I don't know how authentic this is that if you have credit cards in your purse, that there's some sort of a machine or something that has the ability to scan your credit card swipe. Have you heard about something like that, or is that an urban myth?
Yeah, the thing is with the chips now, it's really hard. You can't skim. They can skim it when you use it, like when you swipe it. They set up a skimmer at an ATM, gas pumps, things like that. That's why we switched to the chips. But unfortunately, what's happening now is instead of skimming their cards, they're just stealing your whole purse. And now they have all your credit cards to use wherever they want. And because of the chip, it's supposed to be so much safer. They're not asking for ID anywhere. They're not asking for signatures. They're just, oh, you have the chip, you're good. So we're seeing a lot of more wallet and purse thefts now because of that. But the chip was supposed to solve that. If we had just gotten the chip and a 4-digit code, like a PIN, like Europe does, we would have pretty much eliminated this type of crime altogether, like they're seeing in Europe. But for some reason, they didn't want to bother people with having to remember a 4-digit PIN. They thought the chip itself was enough. And so we actually have a lot of people coming from Europe to the United States to commit this type of crime. So,
Oh, wonderful.
but as far as there was something I was going to mention about your first.
So
Scam.
the reason why I brought it up is because I remember shopping with my mother, and there was at a little boutique where the woman was saying, if you buy this kind of purse, it's safe so that your credit cards won't be scanned while you have your credit cards in your purse. So I don't know if that's an urban myth.
Yeah, well, there's RFID readers out there, but again, with the chips, that's not an issue anymore. It can't, but there, supposedly was an issue. I'm sorry, I had something important to mention. What was the first scam that you mentioned?
It was websites where you can
Oh,
purchase
yeah.
really nice clothing that doesn't exist.
I know a lot of things, because I'll admit things pop up on my Facebook wall, and I've purchased things through there. My big thing is, though, if they won't accept PayPal, I don't use it.
Oh, good idea.
Because PayPal has fraud protection. So if you are the victim of fraud, you can go to PayPal and you can get your money back. If it's any website that asks me that I'm going through on Facebook, so I don't, that's how I'm getting there, and they're asking for my credit card, I don't give it to them.
Okay, that's that's a wonderful tip for me. Thank you. Yes, I see Commissioner Byrd.
Well, if you could verify this, if you know the information, Detective Bowie, on a credit card, the limit of liability for the person is $50. Isn't that true? So,
I
yeah,
don't know.
Yeah, I did some research on that,
Okay.
and we did present it to the city on a webcast like this. But it is $50 per card. So if you had 4 cards, it could be $200, but it was $50 regardless of whatever was charged. So that individual was responsible for $50.
Okay.
Just a point of information.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. That was really, really enjoyable, informative, and I think a real, service to our community. Thank you again.
No problem.
So
Well
now
done, Jennifer.
Yes, thank you
Well done.
again. Item number 6 on the agenda is the liaison and agency reports. At this time, I would like to turn the meeting over to Vice Chair Belding to announce the liaison and agency reports.
Thank you, Chair Guerra. Item 6 is as you said, liaison agency reports. And besides addressing City Council on items related to seniors, the Commission serves as liaison to various local senior agencies. I will call on each commissioner to provide updates. So item A is the Global Adult Community Center, and Commissioner Posta is our liaison to the Global Center Commission and coordinates updates. Commissioner Posta?
Thank you, Stephanie. Bet you thought that the Global was closed, huh? Well, it is, and it isn't. Patty Ham, the director of the Global Adult Community Center, is here to tell us about all the happenings that are actually taking place. Take it away, Patty.
Thanks, John. Hi, everybody. We were kind of excited the last 4 days. We were happy that there were people in the building, but it was for voting only. So we at least had people, but we didn't have our seniors here for programming, so that was still sad. It was very busy here, but we were happy to serve the community and be able to be a polling site. In November, we have 3 one-stop shops. HiCap is coming for Medicare workshops for one's already happened this past Monday, November 2nd, but we have November 16th and November 23rd. You need to call HiCap and make an appointment and fill out a form to complete the Part D comparison form so they can help you on the day you come for your appointment. You can contact HiCap at 805-477-7300, extension 5. One thing we're really excited about next week, every year we usually have a big Veterans Day celebration where we have 300 seniors in the building, and we give a free breakfast, and we provide a USO show for them. And it's something that's very important to us to recognize our senior veterans. And we're not going to be able to do that this year, obviously. So we've been tasked to think out of the box for a lot of our events. And so what we decided to do was to do a Veterans Day tour. We're going to take our stake bed truck, our CRPD stake bed truck. We're going to decorate it red, white, and blue. And we are going to go visit senior veterans at their homes. We're going to do a drive-by parade. We're going to honor them for their service, and we've purchased a couple of mementos, some gifts for them, thanks to our Global Senior Center Commission that's giving us those funds to do so. And we unfortunately could only limit it to 40 seniors because it has to be done on that day, the 11th, and we anticipate that we'd only be able to drive to 40 seniors' homes in an 8-hour period. So we're not full yet. So if you know any veterans, senior veterans, 60 plus, that would like to be honored on Veterans Day next Wednesday, have them give us a call here at the center and we'll sign them up. Slots are filling up fast. I think I have probably about 10 more spots left. So have them call as soon as possible. And we definitely want to fill those 40 spots. So we're excited to do that. This past Friday, we had our Halloween breakfast that was very successful. We had 21 seniors come, and we had them out on the patio, and we served them a scary breakfast. We had a skull souffles and mummy wrapped sausages and vampire pancakes, and we had some yummy Krispy Kreme donuts that were decorated in Halloween, and cupcakes, and we did a old-fashioned cakewalk where they walked around, and the music stopped, and they landed on a number, and we called out winning prizes, and they all had a great time. So that was really fun. Some things coming up in November. Other things. There's a seminar. We're not giving it, but Senior Concerns is giving it, and it's updates during COVID-19 and where we have been, where we are now, and what to expect. And that is being done via Zoom, and that is being given by Carlos Reyes, MD. He's an emergency room physician at Los Robles Hospital, and it's on Tuesday, November 10th from 4 to 5. And if you're interested in that workshop, contact Senior Concerns. If you go to www.seniorconcerns.org, you can find a way to sign up for that on their website. Another Zoom that we have going on this month is Nutrition as We Age. If you're interested in that, that's on Tuesday, November 17th at 11. And you can just give us a call here at the center, 805-381-2744. We'll sign you up. And that is being presented by Patty Yeager. She's a registered dietitian with the Ventura County Area Agency on Aging. And that's who we get a grant from for our senior nutrition program that we have here Monday through Friday. And that's it for November.
Thank you so much, Patty.
Really, thank you. There is a lot going on considering people can't come in the doors. So thank you. Item B is the Caneo Senior Volunteer Program. And Commissioner Williams is our liaison to the CSVP and coordinates updates for us. Commissioner Williams?
Thanks very much. Julie's sorry she couldn't be here. She had an emergency. She had planned to come, but wasn't able to after all. So I would tell you all the wonderful things that are going on right now. The free tax preparation program is about to start. Be a part of a team of volunteers who provide free income tax assistance for local community. And I can speak about this personally because my husband, Mike Redding, was very active in this. And it's a wonderful program. You can do 1 day a week or you can work every day if you want to. Training starts in January. It was suspended last year. I'm sure most of you know that, but they were able to reopen for 23 days and they worked from June 15th to July 15th. So last year, they took care of 1,800 free returns during this extremely challenging time. And so if you're interested, there's a number to call, 805-381-2742. That's the CSVP office, and they'll give you more information on that, of course. Okay, America Supporting Americans, the card writing campaign. Interested in writing holiday cards to troops? ASA's goal is to send 1,000+ holiday cards, and they're looking for volunteers to help write personal messages to help boost the troops' morale. If you'd like to volunteer, please drop off a personalized holiday card at the Senior Nutrition Lunch Program at the Goebel Center, Monday through Friday, 11:30 to 1:30. So this is something you can do from your home. You don't even have to get out of your car, but you'll see a staff table and a tent set up where the lunch program takes place. And they'll take extra holiday cards if you'd like to donate some for somebody else to write for instead of you. A really wonderful thing coming up is the CSVP annual holiday boutique sale. And it's taking place at the main entrance outside the Goebel Adult Community Center on Thursday, December 3rd and Friday, December 4th from 10 to 2. So this is something that you will attend in person. The Goebel Center is located, you all know where, at 1385 East Jansen Road, next to the Thousand Oaks Library. So you're going to join staff and volunteers and start your holiday shopping early. Boutique items available include a multitude of gifts, including jewelry and beautiful handmade items. I'm sure some of these are from the store that they have at the Goebel Center that's always very popular with everybody. Very good prices too, I might add. All profits support the Caneo Senior Volunteer Program, cash or check only, but it will adhere to strict guidelines as far as CDC and the state requirements are concerned. Be a Santa to a senior. They're partnering with Home Instead Senior Care to provide gifts to seniors in need during the upcoming holiday season. Beginning November 2nd, interested people may pick up a special senior giving ornament at the Senior Nutrition Program. That's the second time we mentioned the Senior Nutrition Program. They do more than just give out food. And you'll drive through and let's see, the date is starting the 2nd from 11:30 to 1:30. And each ornament has a senior's name listed with a gift card of choice, either grocery store or retail establishment. And you would take that name and then get something for that person and return it in an envelope with your senior's name by the 12th of December. Donors are welcome to add a greeting card to the envelope for an extra special touch. So that's a lovely way for us to remember our seniors in need. And certainly, so remember that's starting November 2nd through the date that finishes up is, let's see, where was that? December 12th. So just go to the, where they give out the food and ask for one of the names of the person, and that way then you can help that person. I think that's a wonderful thing to do for seniors. And then the last thing, which is something that we are very involved in, the 7th Annual Wellness Fest. And that's going to be January 13th, 2021. That's interesting, isn't it already 2021? So we will not be having 60 vendors or screenings for the 2021 event. We will carry on the Wellness Fest tradition. It's very important to us to include our seniors and local partner agencies in doing something supportive and fun for our community. We're going to be having a drive-through Wellness Fest on the road for seniors. We'll hand out 400 vendor bags and 300 free lunches at the Goebel Center from 11:30 to 1:30. If your volunteer agency is interested in donating something or sponsoring a fundraiser, please contact the CSVP office for more information. And for other volunteer information also, these are just the most important ones right now, but there are so many volunteer ways that we can help in our community. And Julie is very happy to give you more information if you would call 381-2742. And I will be attending the next November meeting, which I think is on the 12th. So I'll have more information after that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. That was really awesome. They do have, Julie tells us, over 400 volunteer organizations that they participate with. So whatever skills you have or, you know, knowledge or fun thing you'd like to do, you're right. Just get in touch with Julie. She will have something for you to do.
Absolutely.
Item C is the Ventura County Area Agency on Aging. Commissioner Posta is also our liaison to the VCAAA. So Commissioner Posta, do you have some items to share with us today?
Oh, I always got some items for you to share. There's some upcoming events you really should be aware of. The Ventura County Area Agency on Aging, VCAAA, is presenting Living Within Your Means. I know that's very tough to do, at least it is for me and probably most everybody else. But are you ready to begin financial planning for 2021? You know, New Year's resolution time is coming up. It's what, about 7 weeks away? So this is going to be a resolution that you're going to do. Living Within Your Means is a financial workshop. It's presented by the VCAAA in partnership with the Ventura County Credit Union. The workshop offers tips and tools for budgeting and saving money and is designed specifically for people over 60 and older who are living on a fixed income. Worthwhile. You want to find something further about it? Get details at the VCAAA at 805-477-7306. That's an important number. I'm going to repeat it again. 805-477-7306. Also coming up, the VCAAA is also presenting legal information for elders. Many times we have legal problems, we don't know where to go, especially to find somebody who really is, you know, an expert in dealing with purely, you know, legal matters for we older people. Help is available if you're 60 and older and looking for legal assistance. Legal Information for Elders is a workshop presented by VCAAA in partnership with Gray Law. This workshop is designed for people over 60 who are in need of legal assistance. Again, give them a call at that number I gave you, 805-477-7306. Are you seniors really aware of VCAAA and what it's doing? You know, the VCAAA aims to enable all older persons to obtain services that promote and maintain the optimum level of functioning in the least restrictive settings possible. We have loads of resources available for you, and they're all free. You got some questions? Here's some for you. Where do I get a meal? Before the pandemic, we supplied a few 100,000 free meals each year for hungry seniors in Ventura County. Since the pandemic started, we have provided over 2 million meals. If you're not getting any and you are hungry, you feel you need some help and assistance with getting some meals, please do contact us again at the number 805-477-7300. Or you could go on a website at vcAAA.org. Very simple, vcAAA.org. We want to help you, so please contact us if you have any problems in that regard. Some other questions. How can you stay in your home? Contact us. We can help you. Want to improve your health? Contact us. Need free bus tickets? Give us a buzz. Need legal assistance? We just told you about Gray Law, a little workshop. Any specific problems? Just call us. You want a referral to somebody who can help you? You don't know where to go? Give us a buzz. You need to learn some new skills because you lost your job? We can help you. Have you been abused? Do you have any other questions? Any mental health problems? Again, call us. Again, 805-477. You got 4770, is that it? Please give us a call. Thank you very much. Remember, we got your back.
Thank you, Commissioner Posta. That really is an exhaustive list of services that people can tap into. So thank you for expounding on that.
By the way, that's 7306. I keep forgetting the 6.
Yeah, I would like to turn the meeting. Oh, sorry. Did you have a question?
I just had a comment. I'm already in touch with VCAAA about speakers.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to get all your preferences, and then I'm going to go to and get some speakers from them, among others.
Yeah, they're willing.
But that's why that list of possible speaker topics is so important for me, so that I can now get preferences on speakers. So all of you guys haven't done your homework.
I did.
And I do this for a living, so I'm into homework. Do the homework. Then we can get some stuff done. But John, thank you. That was terrific.
Yeah, it was terrific.
Yeah, by the way, John bugs me a lot, so I have to work hard. He's on my case about what am I doing. So.
Yeah, well, keep patting yourself on your back. Well, let somebody else pat it.
All right. Well,
I just wanted you to know that John's a pain in the buns.
I'm going to turn the meeting back over to our chair, Gara.
I think Francine is kind of the focal point, but all I care about is I get the lists, and so I can put them all, combine them, and see really where our group focus is.
We have
Great.
to
Thank you
stick with
so
what's
much.
on the agenda. Thank
Good.
you.
Thank you so much. So we're going to go on to item 7 on the agenda, which is commissioner reports. So the Council on Aging researches a number of items that are important to seniors throughout the year. So again, I will be reporting on health specifically. And what I prepared for you this week or today is telemedicine appointments. So if I could get those slides, that would be great. And thank you everyone for hanging in there. I know that this is kind of a longer meeting, and hopefully this has all been really beneficial information to you. So with COVID-19, we've had to kind of adjust ourselves as far as medical appointments are concerned. So what I wanted to talk a little bit about is how to prepare for telemedicine appointments. And 2 items that I'll be talking about are, can my health concerns be addressed with telemedicine, and what can I do before the visit? So I don't know if any of you remember, but I certainly do. Back in the 60s when I was a lot younger, doctors used to come to the house. I remember my mother calling one time when I was ill with the flu, and the doctor actually came to the house. And through the course of the way that medicine changed and the way that medicine is now prescribed, we now are very, very comfortable with going to doctor's visits, and our comfort level is to see the doctor in person. But if we can harken back to a time when actually there was a time when doctors actually came to the home. And so now in 2020, we're going back to that kind of, through the use of technology, we're now going back to that kind of feeling of having the doctor back in the home. I guess one of the things that, since we are so used to seeing the doctor in person, that we're now wondering, well, will my health issues be addressed over the phone or in FaceTime? So to alleviate any of your concerns, the best course of action is to really ask your primary care physician whatever issues that you have. Primarily, a telemedicine appointment can deal with primary care issues like skin problems, a cold with no fever, migraines, or as recommended by your physician. So if your physician, your primary, is telling you, you know what, this can be handled through a phone call, feel comfortable with knowing that that might be better, especially in the era of COVID. Now, if we talk a little bit about how to prepare, what I need to do, and certainly some of the tips that you might want to think about, I want to kind of go over them a little bit. So the first thing that you want to confirm with your doctor is what technology are they going to be using for your doctor's visit at home. So is it going to be over the phone? Are you going to be doing FaceTime, or are you going to be doing a Zoom meeting? And most importantly, are you comfortable with any of those? Are you comfortable with FaceTime or Zoom? Do you have the technology available to you? And if not, feel free to talk to your primary physician about what alternatives you have, if you can, just utilize the phone if that's what you're comfortable with. Ahead of your meeting, think about what are the symptoms that you want to talk about with your primary. So write them down with as much detail as you can about what's going on, and including the duration. So again, it's kind of the same, taking it, as you would your regular, office visit, that you might want to jot down just a couple of the symptoms. I know for myself, and, going on doctor's visits for myself, or going on doctor's visits with my mother, or even when my son was a lot younger, I write everything down, just because by the time you get to the doctor, you're kind of a little frantic. You may be concerned. You may not remember everything that you want to think about or ask. Or if the doctor is telling you, oh, can you give me a little bit of information about the symptomatology, you may not remember. So create a little checklist for yourself. When you get to, when you start thinking about where is it that I want to set up my home visit, be it over the phone, find out in the home if it's going to be a Zoom meeting, if it's going to be FaceTime. Is there a place in your home where you really want to, set that up? A comfortable setting in your home. Now, one thing that I like doing, and certainly something to think about, is to have somebody with you. Have another ear that's right along with you, so that after you have the visit over the phone, you can use a speakerphone, you can have them with you listening, so that not only are they keeping you on track with everything, but also after the appointment, you can kind of compare notes and make sure, fill in any questions that maybe you may not have gotten to, or maybe answer some of the questions. Another point to think about, if it's possible, take your vital signs at home, especially if that's part of the issue that you're going to be talking about. If you have a scale at home, weigh yourself. You can take your temperature, and if you have a blood pressure cup, take that along as well and have that included in your notes. Now, I know that this is kind of a difficult time, especially with all of the adjustments that we've had to do with COVID-19, but be open-minded is my last kind of tip that, that I would add. The fact that we are going through all of this, we want to keep safety as much in the in the realm so that you don't get an exposure to COVID-19. So be open-minded with the process. You're learning a new technology. This is just another tool that you can add to your tool belt. I got all of that information, and you can look that up yourself from the website goodrx.com. And the name of the article was, "It's my first telemedicine visit. What do I need to do?" They're a good website. As with anything else, I always encourage people just to kind of, get as much information as possible. So with that, I'm going to go on to item 8 on our agenda, which is commissioner comments. This is the portion of the meeting where commissioners can provide announcements in which no action or discussion by the commission will be taken. At this time, are there any commissioner comments? Yes, Commissioner Belding.
Well, I do have a comment, and thank you, by the way, for that really good information. I really hadn't thought about what to do before an appointment like that. That was really cool. I would like to invite people watching and all of you to watch as 2 of our commissioners address the City Council at the next upcoming meeting. So on November 17th at 6 p.m., you can watch it live on TOTV on your television, or you can also watch live at TOAKS, O-A-K-S, toaks.org/TOTV. And 2 of our commissioners will be presenting important information for our older population. I think it'd be worth watching.
Are there any other comments? No? Okay. Before I adjourn this meeting, I have a few reminders. If you would like any information about the Council on Aging or have questions about the agenda items discussed, please call 805-381-7362. So I'll repeat that again, 805-381-7362, or email us at councilonaging@toaks.org. That's Council on Aging @toaks.org. We really would love to hear from you and get any feedback, so we encourage the community to please give us a call. There be no further business to come before the commission. The Council on Aging meeting is adjourned to our next regular meeting. Thank you.